Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the full moon reading for the sign of Pisces. Pisces, I do apologize for not having out the weekly read for you guys. Something happened to the recording, it got lost, and unfortunately I don't really like to redo the readings when I've done a full reading, and so I'm just going to put your full moon reading out first. So I do apologize. I hope you forgive me. Cross watchers, you're welcome as always. Newbies, first time on my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. The full moon readings are all about harvest time. It's all about looking at the fruits of your labor that start to come in. Seeds that have been sown in the past, starting to come in, starting to produce. So we're going to look at that. So any of you who are going through that period right now, perhaps you want to take stock of where you're at. Perhaps you're starting to get some abundance. You're in the thick of a project and you want to see how it's going, right? So that's pretty much the kind of area or the area that we're going to be looking at. This doesn't necessarily mean relationship. It could be about work, could be about relationships, could be about your career. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get right into getting out your animal spirit from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Let's see what kind of spirit you're working with. Animal spirits walking with you during this full moon period. You hear music in the background. This is a beautiful artist from Manchester, England, called Waywell. Does really amazing ambient music, and I have all of the information in the description box below. If you'd like to listen to his music or purchase his music, go ahead. So I love his work. All right, folks. Pisces, let's get right into your full moon reading. Let's get your animal spirit out. Show me what's going on for Pisces. What kind of animal spirit is walking with our beautiful water sign this full moon period? Show me. All right, Pisces. The bumblebee, beautiful energy, air energy. All right, the bee pollinates, goes from flower to flower, working, right? The bee is industrious, single-minded. It's going to get the job done. The bee also indicates, it's funny, the bee indicates sort of democratic systems, right? It can indicate democratic, socialist types of systems of thought, of ways of dealing with people. Of course, the bee works as part of a colony, right? And everyone in that colony has their job, and every bee in that colony has their job. Every bee is important to the survival of the hive. And so it is a very kind of I guess I want to say a socialist society in a way. Only thing is that queen bee is in charge, right? But everybody works together. And so I think that's kind of like where we're getting at with this, you know? It's like the bee likes to work together in concert, likes to collaborate. This kind of energy is about working on projects together. Perhaps also even being a leader at projects or ideas, goals, workings with others, right? Collaborations, because you know how to delegate, you know how to give equal measure to everyone. Put people in positions that they excel at, you know, that play to their strengths. So this is very, very, very good energy if you're trying to accomplish something. If you're trying to get something done, as it were, a project or a plan or something. All right? So let's get right into it with your Radiant Rider-Waite deck. We're going to pull out, I'm using this deck. Usually I use the Deviant Moon deck, but I'm going to use this deck this time around. Let's see how you guys feel about this deck instead. I know a lot of people don't like the Deviant Moon deck because of the imagery. It's a little too off-putting. So I decided let's try the lunar readings with this deck. We got King of Cups just popped out. Interesting. All right. What's going on for Pisces this new moon period? Show me. July, new moon. There was a lunar eclipse this year, I believe, for the new moon yesterday. I'm not sure we could see it in the northern half of the world, the northern hemisphere. I think it was mostly the southern hemisphere. Show me. What's going on for my lovely Pisces this new moon period? Show me. We're going to go around like we usually do. The usual lunar spread that I use. Oh, 3 upside down. Oh, wow. Could be. Nope. So the world has come out upside down. Interesting. Death. All right. Interesting that the world card has come out in reverse. Center, you have the Page of Wands and the Magician. Bottom of the deck, you have the Ace of Wands. So yes, Ace of Wands talks about new ideas coming in, right? New information, new ideas, new communications coming in. It indicates a sense of victory with the crown there. So the sword coming in, communication or ideas coming in that kind of give you a sense of vindication. It could be that you've been arguing a particular point and now you have the proof for it, or now you have the information coming in that supports your stance, right? All this time. Quite interesting. Love it. It's the essence of sword energies. So it's just, you know, pure communication in its best form, right? Towards the ultimate good of everyone, right? So at the center of the reading, we've got straight out the gate, we have Page of Wands. So this is all about new creativity, right? Being creative, being able to express your creativity. The Page of Wands, interesting. A lot of times the pages can indicate messages coming in, right? It can indicate these small communications coming in or meetings. But in this instance, I think it indicates your spirit, your Page of Wands spirit. Page of Wands is at the bottom of the rung for the wand suit. And so it's in the court cards, we sort of, you know, the court cards sort of indicate the embodying of that suit. So the Page of Wands is at the very first rung. So that's the place where you are just learning how to express yourself creatively, how to express your identity. You're just learning how to be free in your creativity, not to be held back or embarrassed, right? You don't worry about that. You don't worry about what people are thinking of you, right? This is just kind of like the first stages of really coming into a truly like creative life. It's full of a lot of fire and passion, right? And so we have covering it, you have the Magician. So you're manifesting right now. It seems as though there's a lot of things coming into your life that are allowing you to really manifest your dreams and your goals. You know, it could be that things are just opening up for you. Doors are opening up. Information or people are coming your way. You know, oftentimes when a magician comes out, it just indicates, you know, we say, oh, you're manifesting. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of times when a magician comes out, it's also the world around you is allowing you to make your dreams come true by all of the energy that is bringing to you in that way, right? So, for instance, if the magician needs to have a certain space or material thing to accomplish his goal, it's like almost as if his path opens up before him to get all of those things that he needs, right, to accomplish the goal. If there's a particular connection with a person or a business that you need or that you're seeking to advance your goal, it's almost as if that person or business just walks into your life and you're able to manifest what you desire. So it's a very pure energy. It's the ability to also make the best. You know, the magician is the one who makes the best out of the situation. It's really, really awesome energy. Certainly if you are part of a project or a goal. All right. So at the bottom we have the World card, but it's in reverse. So generally the World card usually indicates it can indicate kind of a reincarnation in a way, like a reincarnation in this life, right? So it's almost like you're finishing one part of your life, you're starting a new part of your life, and where you're at right now, you realize you're exactly where you're supposed to be, right? You're exactly where you're supposed to be in your life to achieve your goals, right? The World card is one of those cards where it reminds us to be a part of the world, to be in the world, to be living in the world. And also it reminds us how to see ourselves as part of the world, you know. Oftentimes there's a kind of detachment that a lot of us have from the rest of the world, like, you know, how do I fit in? And with the World card, it usually indicates that you're at a point in your life where you see exactly where you fit in. However, here it's in reverse. And it could be that right now you're just having a lot of doubts, right? You could be having a lot of doubts, a lot of fear about starting the next step. Usually with the World card, it's kind of like you're ready for the next step because you have this confidence. You know that you're at the right place in your life path. But here with it in reverse, it can indicate just like hesitancy, doubt. What's called for is patience, right? 3 of Wands is the card for patience. It's the next step on a journey. Obviously, it's the 3. The 2 we have up here, actually, right here. I don't want to jump ahead, but the 2 of Wands is like the next step, so, you know, planting the next wand after the aces come in, the inspiration, the idea, the creativity. It's the next step forward. It's pushing forward into the world, your ideas and your goals. It's very Mars and Aries energy. Then when we come to the 3 of Wands, we take a bit of a pause. It's time to be a little bit more patient, right? 3 is the number for bonding and loyalty and patience, right? So it indicates that if things aren't really going your way right now, just take a little step back. I think you just came through a death period, so there's a big transformation in your life, Pisces, most recently, right? And that could be another one of the reasons why you're not really quite sure how you're fitting into the world right now. You feel a little bit hesitant, right? Certainly with this big transformation that's just happened. The 2 of Cups is here as well, so interestingly enough, right, you still have this desire to move forward. You still have this forward momentum, but patience here is called for in some other area, but yet you still have this desire, right, to push forward. Certainly after this transformation that happened, Mars and Aries energy, right, it's kind of necessary. I feel like it's like one of these things, like when you have a full transformation, you almost wake up sometimes to how asleep you've been, and then when you come out of this kind of change, a death change is a change of scenery, people, social circles, everything has changed, everything is transformed. You may have moved, you know, a job may have ended. It's like your life, as it were, has changed. And so oftentimes when that happens, we're really very eager to get on with our lives, right? But there's some victim energy here. I call this my gaslighting card. 8 of Swords is my gaslighting card because it's the person who's restricted himself because of his own thinking, right? You know, he's bound himself. If you see there, the swords are kind of all around this figure. They're bound and blindfolded. It seems to indicate that they believe they can't make any move. It's the victim card because it's oftentimes his own fault that the swords are around him. This person has usually tied themselves up as a result of the way they communicate. This is the person that nobody wants to talk to. This is the person that, you know, he or she always has their opinion, and they feel like it's their opinion or nobody else's opinion. You know, they're very domineering, yet they play the victim role. Oftentimes, this kind of energy is the person who blames everybody else around them for their actions. And in a relationship, it's the person who always is kind of putting guilt trips on you. It's the emotionally abusive person, the person who says to you, you know, if you didn't act the way you act, I wouldn't have to treat you like shit, basically, right? Which is a statement that makes no sense. You know, so this is my gaslighter. This is my victim, the person who's always poor me, the person who guilt trips you. And it's interesting because this energy is coming into you, and I think that might be why. I wonder if this energy isn't as a result of this death card that's happened, where there's been this big change in your life, and somebody's like, wait, hang on a second. this change is like, you know, how can you do this to me? You know, how can you search for a better life when you know it's going to affect me? You know, and so this person is very much in your forethought. Could be a lover, a friend, a family member, doesn't really matter, but it's somebody who has the ability to kind of guilt trip you, right? So it's another reason. This is in your conscious. Your unconscious is your doubt here, right? So here's your doubt, which this person is sowing in you. Temperance is called for, which is perfect. So between this Two of Wands and the Three of Wands, it makes a lot of sense to have temperance, because Two of Wands energy is Mars and Aries. And then Three of Wands is like taking a step back. This is very forward, fiery, and this is very kind of like prudent, waiting, right? More earthy energy, right? More earthy fire energy here. And so to go between the two feelings, you need a lot of temperance. You need to be able to temper yourself. You need to be able to adjust from one situation to the next, right? It's like you're juggling two scenarios. Excuse me for that drink of water. It's almost as if in one area of your life you're ready to go forward, but in another area of your life you need to have patience. And so temperance, Sagittarius, is being called for, Sagittarian energy. Coming in your future, here's your Page of Pentacles. So you got a little offer coming in, a little offer for work or some kind of collaboration, something to do with making money in abundance, your material wealth. It's just coming in, Page of Pentacles. This is a conversation, an idea, a little meeting, right, to move forward. Now, you've had a change here. Now this is coming in. So I want to say that this Page of Pentacles is a lead on or a follow on from this change that you've had here with the Death card. And that's coming into your future, all right? You're going to be also feeling, it's interesting, if you haven't, as a result of this Page of Pentacles already, if you don't have this level of kind of abundance already, you will have it as a result of the Page of Pentacles. But I almost feel like inherent in whatever you're doing is a sense of charity. This is a sense of giving back to those who have less than you. Pisces, I feel like you're being very altruistic here. You're understanding the nature of bestowing rather than receiving, right? That's what the Kabbalists talk about. Oftentimes, there are only two sort of essences, which is the nature to bestow, which is the godly nature, and the nature to receive, which is our nature, right? And so here you're bestowing, you're getting very much into that energy, which is being as close to that godliness, right? The Jesus, we call it the Godhead, or the Jesus Christ energy, right? That the spiritual, the sage, right? So it's like you wanting to help, you're wanting to give, you're wanting to bestow, you're wanting to share some of your abundance, share your advice, your time, right? And it's feeling very harmonious as well. This work of yours is making you feel very, very harmonious, right? And certainly with this King of Cups here. So now with this King of Cups here, I believe there's someone in your life who's just kind of sitting back and supporting you with all of this. And this is your mate, all right? This is very much a case of dealing with projects, goals, and dreams that have something to do with whatever it is you make money with. It can certainly have something to do with, say, for instance, if you're an artist, it will have to do with your art or your career, right? If you're opening up a business. Because this is not necessarily about the personal relationship, because your King of Cups is over here very patiently supporting you, behind you. It's not gender specific. It's just your mate, right? But your mate is presenting as King of Cups. So he's like taking care of the house and taking care of the nurturing and everything. He's there. He's strong. He's committed. While you go off kind of and explore all of this, which is really much more to do with just kind of your life desire. Certainly to do with your creativity. This is for you Pisces out there who are very creative and you're kind of on the path of a creative endeavor. All right? I am going to pull from my new Beautiful Creatures deck. I'm going to pull a couple of cards for this reading. I'm going to pull actually 3 cards. Finish up this reading. It's a beautiful time. Yeah, this full moon period, certainly. So what do you need? wrap it up. We need temperance, right? You're dealing with two kind of scenarios. You're feeling a little bit of doubt, but there is someone in your life who's playing the victim. Watch out for that person. Don't let them get inside your head too much or do too much of that psychological warfare on you. You have a right to move forward. You have a right to come out of any change you want to the way you want to without having to worry about somebody else's kind of energy, right? Like I said, that could be a friend or family member. I almost feel like it's a friend, like a close friend who just, you know, always is like counting on you to be the one, you know, counting on you to like change your plans for them because they can't handle when you are off, you know, when you're not paying attention to them or including them. Very needy individual. All right, give me 3 cards for this reading for our beautiful Pisces. Finish off this lovely full moon reading. You have One of Wands, Ace of Wands. There you go. It's interesting in this deck they call it the one, but it's the Ace of Wands. Beautiful. So that talks about this new inspiration. The Wheel, right? So the Wheel of Fortune is coming in and 4 of Pentacles. Interesting. So these beautiful cards. Ace of Wands, right? Big opportunity coming in. Not sure. Right? You see, she's kind of caught in the headlights like, oh, what do I do? You know, it's all this energy, this creativity coming in. It's so exciting, right? So, yeah, this is really the start of a new creative endeavor for you, right? Certainly you have the Ace of Swords over here, but that's more about, like, expressing that the communication. But, yeah, and the wheel is turning. This is a very fortuitous period of your life, Pisces. You're trying to hold on with Pentacles. You're certainly trying to hold on to the things that are most important to you. Right? Oftentimes, 4 of Pentacles can indicate greed. And it could very well be that this individual up here, right, this person who's playing the victim, a lot of what they're doing is it's the greed that's causing them to play these games and act out with you, right? It's the greed, and it could be that this change you're going through, it almost somehow may have affected them in some way. The flip side to 4 of Pentacles is just preserving what you've already worked for. But I think in this case, it's not so much that, because this is very much about a creative process. But the wheel is certainly turning. Wheel of Fortune is turning for you. And it's all about that beautiful inspiration coming in and for you to share it with the world. All right, Pisces, I love you so much. I'm going to call it, this is your full moon reading. All about the harvest, all about the fruits coming in, the next steps. And there you go. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share. Let me know how you feel about the new setup, me using the Rider deck rather than using the Deviant Moon. Tell me how you feel about my new beautiful creatures deck. Just sound off below. You know how it is. Help me grow my channel. This is what I do full time. Those of you who'd like to get a private reading, just go to the link at the top of your screen. My private readings also include a recording that is similar to this. In fact, exactly like this, where I also record our readings and you get a video, a private video link for that as well, so that you can always go back to your reading and review it, okay? Because there's a lot of information that we cover in the private readings, and so oftentimes I find it necessary for someone to have a recording of the reading itself, all right? Other than that, folks, I love you so much. I'll see you guys at the new moon reading. Bye-bye.